climate crisis is a constantly occurring topic all over the world. And now we're going to hear about how Swedish cities within a strategic innovation program work with the aim to be climate neutral by 2030. Let me introduce Åsa Minoz. She's an innovation strategist at Viable Cities and will tell you more about the Climate City Contract.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm trying to get the technology to work with me here, and I'm going to share my presentation. So, is it working now? I hope it is. So I'm going to talk to you about Climate City Contract, which is a tool that we have developed within Viable Cities for mobilizing and delivering climate neutral and sustainable cities. Just to start off, on the 9th of August, I guess nobody missed that we have the new IPCC report telling us that we risk crossing the global warming level in the next decades. And what are the population of these cities, these 9 cities included in our effort, climate neutral cities? So we have obviously the big cities in Sweden, Stockholm, Gothenburg and Malmö, which are the first 3 columns. And then we have a range of different sizes of cities down to Enköping, which is the smallest one. And together these 9 cities represent about a quarter of the population of Sweden. So this will become a large proportion when we get up to more than 20 cities, obviously. So we, in our efforts, we have an approach where we talk about a portfolio of efforts in achieving climate neutral and sustainable cities. It's efforts within Viable Cities, efforts within the city itself, together with different stakeholders, other efforts on the Nordic level, on the European level and such. And all these efforts put together are to contribute to an impactful way to reach the mission. The Climate City Contract came about in 2020, and I'm not going to talk you through all these kinds of events, but this is a timeline from March to December 2020, where we co-created the Climate City Contract together with the 9 cities and the city mayors and 4 government agencies. And from March, we first launched the idea, would it be a good idea to develop a Climate City Contract? Then we had a letter of intent signed by all the 9 mayors in the midst of the peak of the pandemic, which we were really, really amazed that they were able to prioritize to do this together with us. And then at the end of the year, we achieved the signature of the first ever Climate City Contract on the 11th of December, together with 9 mayors and the 4 director generals. So the Climate City Contract is a negotiated collaboration for faster climate transition in the cities. At the one part, it's a local mobilization where municipalities commit to mobilizing and collaborating with all stakeholders, industry, academia, civil society, and citizens. And the national mobilization where bodies at national government level commit to coordinating state level activities like financing and other. And this Climate City Contract is revised and signed every year. So there is a signature of the 2nd Climate City Contract coming up in December of this year. So all in all, we have a commitment from the cities to goals, strategies, governance, citizen involvement, and climate investment plans and funding and such. And at the lower part, we have the commitments from the national level, which are about policy, better regulation, innovation focused on impact for achieving mission, coordinated funding and financing, and backing up efforts to participate in the efforts of Horizon Europe directed towards climate neutral cities. And so the commitments are specific to each city. So there are 9 specific documents, one for each cities, with commitment from national level, viable cities, and the city. And we really see this as a learning process where we learn from each other in order to kind of really spearhead the acceleration together, and signing and revising these every year. So these first editions of Climate City Contract, the 9, are available on Viable Cities website. Some of them are even available in English, not all of them, but these will be revised in December of this year and in December of next year, and so on and so forth. So some glimpses of the work in cities. Obviously, this is not representative, but for instance, Malmö is working on urban agriculture and planting trees as one small part of what they're doing. Enköping are working hard to reduce electricity and energy use. In Umeå, they have already had a lot of efforts, and transports are falling by 10% per year. In Växjö, they are, for instance, working with support by green bonds for the transition efforts. And together within Viable Cities, with all the stakeholders in the cities, we work on 3 development projects for the time being to develop further the Climate City Contract in its way of working. One is directed to redirect financial flows. We need investments to make the climate transition happen. The second one is about citizen involvement. Everyone in society needs to get on board, not the least the citizens. Those are at the center of our efforts. Also, digital tools and digitalization must help accelerate transition. And there are many efforts within the 9 cities that we work with that are directed towards this. Also, I would like to take the opportunity to mention the effort that we have initiated together with Nordic partners, which is called Nordic Transition Partnership. This is an effort funded from Nordic Innovation, targeting small and medium-sized municipalities. You can find all about it at nordictransitionpartnership.org. It's about accelerating the transition towards climate neutral cities to Nordic collaboration. There are workshops, a community, and tools where cities can learn from each other. And there's also a direction developed together for the efforts. This is really, really relevant because about, I think it's half of the population in the Nordic countries that are living in cities below 100,000 citizens. And of these efforts that we have in Viable Cities are connected to efforts on the European level. So we had 9 cities coming on board in these efforts in 2019, as I said. And from October this year, there will be 20 plus cities. And this is also connected from this autumn, and the work will be intensified at the European level regarding climate neutral cities in Europe. And we aim to position the Swedish actors, the Swedish cities, to be part of this effort to achieve climate neutrality in Europe and the world. So Mission Climate Neutral Cities 2030 in the EU is part of the Green Deal for Europe to achieve a climate neutral continent by 2050, in line with the Paris Agreement and the global goals for sustainability. And this is a new approach within Horizon Europe, the European Research and Innovation Programme. And the Mission Board for Climate Neutral Cities stated that this mission, it is about achieving 100 climate neutral cities by 2030, by and for citizens. By the way, today there is not so much focus on 100 cities, maybe many more and more. So just to give a final word about the way we work with partners around the world. It's very, very rewarding and interesting and inspirational to see that the Spanish effort, Cities 2030, has taken a lot of inspiration from us, and we have had a lot of interesting exchanges with these. So on the 8th of September this year, at the summit in Spain, mayors of Barcelona, Madrid, Sevilla, and Valencia signed, together with the Vice President and Secretary for Ecological Transition, an agreement to develop a national climate city contract 2030 in Spain. So we look forward to working together with the Spanish and other international partners in achieving climate neutral and sustainable cities by 2030. Thank you.